the haunted lighthouse. The first story of tonight is the haunted Seguin Island Lighthouse off the Erie coast of Maine in the U.S. Picture this, a desolate island, wild waves crashing against rugged rocks, and a lighthouse built in 1796 shrouded in maritime mystery. Legend has it that in the 1800s, a caretaker or keeper of the beacon, newly married, brought his young wife out with him to tend the light. Not used to the isolation on the island, she became increasingly bored and depressed, constantly complaining about not having anything to do. Thinking it would occupy her and keep her mind off the boredom, the keeper ordered a piano to be brought to the island just before winter set in. He proudly presented it to her after numerous attempts to get the piano up the side of the rocky ledge and carefully hauling it to the keeper's house with many friends. His wife was delighted but could not play without sheet music. Fortunately, only one song had come with the piano, so she set to play it. It was a simple Scott Joplin tune. Soon afterward, the island was icebound. No other deliveries could come in. She continually played her piano with the same song over and over and over again. The isolation and constant playing of the same tune over countless hours and days eventually drove the keeper insane. Finally, he had enough, took an axe and chopped the piano to bits. When she bitterly complained, he turned on and attacked her, chopping her up with the axe. Realizing the ghoulish action he just completed, he killed himself. On the Kennebec River during foggy nights, you can hear the ghost of the lighthouse keeper's wife playing the same ghostly tune on her phantom piano out over the waves on those still, calm evenings. There have been other reports of ghostly goings-on. Over the recent years, many responsible volunteer caretakers who sign on to help upkeep the lighthouse for summer tourists have reported various sightings and strange paranormal events. Items have been moved inside the house or tossed from shelves onto the floor. Mysterious cold spots, tools disappearing and reappearing randomly, and doors have been observed opening and closing. If the caretakers move the furniture, it is sometimes restored to its original spot the following day. Some have reported hearing coughing from an unseen source. One keeper even claimed to have heard ghostly laughter echoing through the darkened halls. Spooky, right? So, who's to say if it's truly haunted or just a case of sea craziness run amok? Visit it for yourself and decide. The Enfield Poltergeist. In the 1970s, a spine-tingling tale unfolded that would send shivers down even the bravest of souls. The Hodgson family in Enfield, London, experienced one of the most famous poltergeist cases. Objects moved on their own, banging from the walls, and voices echoed through their home. The story was widely covered in the media, with reporters from the Daily Mirror witnessing the phenomena. Picture this, a council house on Green Street, filled with the hustle and bustle of daily life. But soon, the normalcy shattered like glass when strange occurrences began plaguing the family. It all started with the inexplicable moving of furniture and objects. Chairs danced merrily across the room while toys took on a life of their own, defying the laws of gravity. Even worse, their terrified daughter Janet became the unwitting spokesperson for the ghostly presence who she named Bill, her voice transforming into a guttural, otherworldly growl. Neighbors were understandably spooked. Skeptics scoffed, attributing it all to the children playing tricks and exaggerating, insinuating they faked the events. But those who witnessed the events firsthand, well, they couldn't simply dismiss it as child's play, especially when the sisters seemingly levitated off the ground by several feet. The Hodgson home became ground zero for paranormal investigators, including the renowned Maurice Grosse and Guy Playfair. These brave souls sought to unravel the enigma that had gripped the family and the community. They recorded hours of chilling audio, capturing Janet's eerie voice transformations and even conversations with the entity. In one hair-raising exchange, the ghost claimed to be a former resident of the house who had died there. As the haunting escalated, so did the public's fascination. The Enfield Poltergeist remains one of the most baffling and well-documented cases of paranormal activity in history. The haunted house on Green Street will forever be etched in the annals of the supernatural. And as for the mischievous spirit that haunted the Hodgson family, who's to say if it still lurks in the shadows, waiting to play its ghostly pranks once more? So, if you ever find yourself in Enfield, Keep your wits about you and beware of flying furniture. You might just stumble upon a ghostly game of musical chairs that you won't soon forget. The Amityville Horror. Once upon a time, in the quaint village of Amityville on Long Island, New York, a terrifying tale unfolded that would chill the spines of even the bravest souls. This infamous story, known as the Amityville Poltergeist, began on a fateful night in November 1974, when the Lutz family moved into their dream home at 112 Ocean Avenue. The house they thought was a bargain. Little did they know, it came with a dark and sinister history. Just over a year before, the DeFeo family, the previous occupants, had met a gruesome end at the hands of their own son, Ronald DeFeo Jr., who claimed that voices in the house had compelled him to commit the murders. The Lutzes, undeterred by the house's chilling history, moved in with their 3 children. Soon after settling in, the Lutz family began to experience a series of inexplicable and terrifying events. It all started with strange odors wafting through the house, like the scent of rotting flesh. Doors would slam shut on their own and eerie footsteps echoed in empty rooms. Bile green slime oozed from the walls, as if the house itself were bleeding. Even the family's beloved German shepherd, Harry, cowered in fear and refused to enter certain rooms. George Lutz, the patriarch of the family, would wake up every night at 3:15 a.m., the same time the DeFeo murders had occurred, feeling an invisible force pushing him out of bed. As the days passed, the events escalated. George's health deteriorated rapidly, and Kathy Lutz began having vivid nightmares of the DeFeo murders. The children's behavior changed, becoming increasingly erratic. Frightened and desperate, the Lutz family called in a team of paranormal investigators, including Ed and Lorraine Warren, famous for their work in cases involving the supernatural. They claimed the house was infested with malevolent spirits and a demonic presence. The Amityville Poltergeist had taken hold. The Lutzes fled the house after only 28 days, leaving their possessions behind, never to return. They sold their story to author Jay Anson, whose book, The Amityville Horror, became a bestseller and inspired a series of movies, making the Amityville house one of the most famous haunted locations in the world. While the veracity of the Amityville Poltergeist story remains a subject of debate, one thing is for sure. The legend of 112 Ocean Avenue has endured, becoming a cautionary tale for anyone thinking of buying a house at a suspiciously low price. Just remember, if it seems too good to be true, it might just be haunted. The Bell Witch. For our next spine-tingling tale, the story of the Bell Witch, a legendary and eerie figure that haunts the annals of American folklore. This unsettling saga began in the early 19th century, in the quaint town of Adams, Tennessee. It all started innocently enough when John Bell, a farmer and landowner, began experiencing strange phenomena on his property in 1817. Unexplained noises, like the sound of rats gnawing at the bedposts and chains being dragged across the floor, kept the family awake at night. At first, they dismissed it as mere oddities, but as time passed, the disturbances escalated. The Bell children, particularly Betsy, became the primary targets of the entity, known as the Bell Witch. It would pull their hair, scratch them, and even slap their faces with an invisible hand. Betsy was a favored victim and bore the brunt of the witch's malevolence. No one was safe from her torment, and the family lived in perpetual fear. The witch, whose true identity remained a mystery, also displayed a penchant for intelligence. She could mimic voices, carry on conversations, and recite scripture with chilling accuracy. Her knowledge seemed boundless, and she would often taunt the family with personal details and cryptic prophecies. The witch's reign of terror extended beyond the Bell household. She made public appearances and took her malevolence to the community, tormenting neighbors and visitors alike. People from far and wide came to witness the bizarre happenings, and the legend of the Bell Witch spread like wildfire. In 1820, after a 7-year ordeal, John Bell met his untimely demise under mysterious circumstances. Some speculated that the Bell Witch had poisoned him, With her tormentor's patriarch gone, the entity began to lose interest in the Bell family and eventually departed, promising to return in 7 years, a threat that thankfully went unfulfilled. The Bell Witch's story has endured through the centuries, inspiring books, movies. In fact, some say she was merely a prankster with a penchant for scaring folks. Others suggest that the tale of the Bell Witch was a case of mass hysteria, or even a clever ruse perpetrated by family members. Whatever the truth may be, one thing is certain: the Bell Witch remains one of America's most enduring and enigmatic legends. The Skinwalker Ranch. Now we transport you to the mysterious and unsettling world of the Skinwalker Ranch, a place where the line between reality and the supernatural seems to blur. Located in the Uinta Basin of Utah, this ranch has earned a reputation as one of the most enigmatic and paranormal hotspots in the United States. The story of the Skinwalker Ranch begins with a family by the name of Sherman, who purchased the property in 1994. At first, the Shermans were drawn to the ranch's scenic beauty, but they soon realized that it came with a dark and otherworldly side. They reported a litany of bizarre occurrences, from cattle mutilations and crop circles, to strange lights in the sky and eerie creatures lurking in the darkness. The ranch's name, Skinwalker, is derived from Navajo legends of shape-shifting witches who can assume the form of animals. And indeed, the Shermans claimed to have witnessed creatures that defied explanation. Among the most terrifying were large, wolf-like creatures with glowing red eyes capable of withstanding bullets and vanishing into thin air. Scientific investigations followed, with researchers from the National Institute for Discovery Science, NEDS, descending upon the ranch. Despite their efforts, the mysteries only deepened. They captured strange readings on thermal imaging cameras, recorded bizarre electromagnetic anomalies, and even reported sightings of unidentified flying objects. The ranch has become a magnet for paranormal enthusiasts, UFO hunters, and conspiracy theorists. It has been the subject of numerous books, documentaries, and even a television series. Speculations about the ranch's secrets range from extraterrestrial activity to government experiments and interdimensional portals. Some skeptics have proposed that the Skinwalker Ranch is merely a case of overactive imaginations, too much late-night sci-fi, and perhaps a few too many cups of strong coffee. They argue that the human mind is a curious thing, capable of turning ordinary events into extraordinary ones, especially when influenced by a dash of fear and mystery. But let's not be too quick to dismiss the eerie allure of Skinwalker Ranch. The legends persist and the mysteries remain unsolved. So, if you ever find yourself in the Uinta Basin, keep an eye out for any creatures with a penchant for transformation. You might just stumble upon a real-life skinwalker. It's sure to be an adventure worth remembering. The Mothman Prophecies. Prepare to delve into the eerie world of the Mothman, a haunting tale that unfolded in the 1960s in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. This story is shrouded in mystery, strange sightings, and a sense of foreboding that lingers to this day. It all began in November 1966, when residents of Point Pleasant started reporting peculiar encounters. They described a creature with glowing red eyes, a large wingspan, and a human-like figure, often likened to a giant moth or butterfly. This mysterious being was soon dubbed the Mothman. These sightings, however, were not isolated incidents. Witnesses experienced vivid nightmares and an overwhelming sense of dread after their encounters with the Mothman. Many believed that this creature was a foreboding omen, a harbinger of tragedy. The foreboding feeling proved to be hauntingly accurate. Just over a year later, in December 1967, tragedy struck Point Pleasant when the Silver Bridge, a vital transportation link between West Virginia and Ohio, collapsed during rush hour. This catastrophic event claimed the lives of 46 people and fueled the belief that the Mothman was indeed a messenger of doom. Enter John A. Keel, a journalist who arrived in Point Pleasant to investigate the strange occurrences. Keel's extensive research culminated in the book titled The Mothman Prophecies, published in 1975. The book chronicled the bizarre events that unfolded during that time, including mysterious phone calls, unusual lights in the sky, and encounters with enigmatic men in black who seemed to be monitoring the situation. The Mothman legend was later adapted into a 2002 film of the same name, starring Richard Gere and Laura Linney, which brought the eerie story to a wider audience. However, some skeptics argue that the Mothman sightings were a product of mass hysteria and heightened anxiety during a tumultuous period in American history. They suggest that local legends and fear of the unknown may have contributed to the sightings. Nevertheless, Point Pleasant embraces its unique legacy. The town hosts an annual Mothman Festival, celebrating the enigmatic creature with various events and attractions. Whether you believe in the Mothman as a supernatural being or consider it a manifestation of collective imagination, one thing is certain: the Mothman Prophecies continue to captivate the curious and keep the mystery alive. The Brown Lady of Raynham Hall. Next, we have a tale of a ghostly apparition that has haunted Raynham Hall for centuries: the Brown Lady. This eerie legend traces its origins to one of England's most famous and famously haunted country estates. Our story begins in the early 18th century at Raynham Hall, a stately manor in Norfolk, England. The Brown Lady, as she's come to be known, is believed to be the ghost of Lady Dorothy Walpole, the sister of Robert Walpole, the first Prime Minister of Great Britain. The legend tells us that Lady Dorothy's life took a tragic turn when she fell in love with the rakish Lord Wharton. She was the second wife of Charles Townshend, second Viscount Townshend, who was notorious for his violent temper. The story says that when Townshend discovered that his wife had committed adultery with Lord Wharton, he punished her by locking her in her rooms in the family home Raynham Hall. She remained at Raynham Hall until her death in 1726. Her death was shrouded in mystery and scandal. Some say she died of smallpox, while others whisper of foul play. Lady Dorothy's spirit, tormented and restless, is said to have lingered in the halls of the mansion. The Brown Lady's most famous appearance occurred in 1936 when Captain Hubert C. Provand and Indra Shira, photographers from Country Life magazine, were tasked with photographing Raynham Hall's grand staircase. As they set up their equipment, they were startled by the appearance of a ghostly figure descending the stairs, a woman in a brown dress. Provand managed to capture the ghostly image on film, creating one of the most iconic ghost photographs in history. The image appeared to show a translucent figure in a flowing gown, her eyes hollow and empty. Skeptics and believers alike have scrutinized the photograph, but no one has been able to definitively debunk it. The Brown Lady's story, along with the eerie photograph, have solidified her place in the annals of the paranormal. While we may never know for sure whether the Brown Lady truly haunts Raynham Hall, her legend persists. Some say she's still searching for her lost love, Lord Wharton, while others suggest she's just a restless spirit looking for a bit of attention. Regardless of the truth, Raynham Hall remains a popular destination for ghost hunters and enthusiasts seeking to catch a glimpse of the spectral Lady Dorothy. So, if you ever find yourself wandering the darkened halls of a haunted mansion, keep an eye out for a lady in a brown dress. The Ghosts of the Queen Mary. We embark on a journey through the eerie and spectral corridors of the Queen Mary, a luxurious ocean liner turned haunted hotspot. This tale is a chilling blend of maritime history and ghostly encounters that continue to intrigue those who dare to explore its decks. In the early 20th century, when the Queen Mary was a majestic ocean liner, serving as a symbol of luxury and opulence on the high seas. But as World War II erupted, the ship was transformed into a troop transport vessel, ferrying soldiers to the front lines. The Queen Mary's wartime service saw her painted gray and camouflaged, earning her the nickname, the Gray Ghost. Tragedy struck on one fateful voyage when the Queen Mary collided with her escort ship, the HMS Curacoa, resulting in the loss of 338 lives. It's said that many of these souls still linger aboard the ship in the afterlife. Fast forward to the present day, and the Queen Mary has been permanently moored in Long Beach, California, serving as a floating hotel and tourist attraction. But beneath her glamorous exterior lies a world of ghostly tales. Visitors and staff alike have reported a multitude of paranormal experiences. One of the most famous ghostly inhabitants is known as Half-Hatch Harry. Legend has it that Harry was an engineer who was crushed to death in the ship's engine room during a routine drill. His ghostly apparition is often seen in blue coveralls, tirelessly working on the ship's engines. Another famous specter is the Lady in White, believed to be the spirit of a young woman who met a tragic end in one of the ship's staterooms. Guests have reported seeing her ghostly figure and hearing her cries in the dead of night. While skeptics may try to explain away these ghostly encounters as mere figments of the imagination, the Queen Mary's reputation as a haunted vessel continues to draw curious visitors from far and wide. After all, where else can you book a room with both sea views and the potential for a spectral surprise? The Ghosts of Gettysburg. Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. The site of one of the bloodiest battles in the American Civil War is said to be haunted by the spirits of soldiers who perished there. The battlefield of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, is not only known for its pivotal role in the American Civil War but also for the lingering spirits that are said to haunt its grounds. In July 1863, when Union and Confederate forces clashed in a brutal and bloody three-day battle, it was a turning point in the war, but it came at a terrible cost. Over 51,000 soldiers were killed, wounded, or missing. The battlefield became a hallowed ground, forever etched in the annals of American history. Over the years, countless visitors to Gettysburg have reported ghostly encounters. Some have seen apparitions of soldiers in tattered uniforms, marching through the misty fields or peering out from the darkened windows of historic buildings. Others have heard the distant sounds of cannon fire and phantom footsteps. One of the most famous hauntings is that of the Phantom Regiment, where spectral soldiers in Union blue are seen charging into battle, only to disappear into thin air. Devil's Den, a rocky outcrop on the battlefield, is believed to be particularly haunted, with ghostly figures appearing among the boulders. In the years following the battle, the nearby town of Gettysburg has also become a hotbed of paranormal activity. Visitors and residents have reported seeing apparitions in period clothing, hearing ghostly conversations, and experiencing unexplained phenomena in their homes and businesses. After all, in a place so steeped in history and tragedy, it seems that even the spirits can't resist sharing in the enduring story of this remarkable battlefield. The Winchester Mystery House. For our final story, a tale of architectural marvel and mystery, the Winchester Mystery House. Located in San Jose, California, this sprawling mansion is a labyrinth of bewildering corridors, hidden rooms, and staircases that lead to nowhere. Our story begins with Sarah Winchester, the widow of William Wirt Winchester, heir to the Winchester Repeating Arms Company fortune. After the death of her husband and infant daughter, Sarah sought solace from her grief by consulting a medium. It was during this session that she received a chilling message. The spirits of those killed by Winchester rifles were haunting her family. The medium advised Sarah to move west and build a house for herself and the spirits, a house that would never be finished. Sarah took this advice to heart and purchased an 8-room farmhouse in San Jose in 1884. What followed was a decades-long construction project of unparalleled eccentricity. Sarah Winchester embarked on a relentless building spree, transforming the modest farmhouse into a sprawling, 7-story mansion with over 160 rooms. But there was a twist. The construction never ceased. Day and night, workers labored on the house, and the construction continued for 38 years until Sarah's death in 1922. The architecture of the Winchester Mystery House is a testament to Sarah's obsession with appeasing the spirits. Staircases lead to ceilings, doors open to walls, and hallways twist and turn in disorienting ways. Some rooms are minuscule, while others are opulent and grand. Secret passages and hidden doors are scattered throughout, seemingly designed to confuse any vengeful spirits that might be lurking. Windows shaped like spider webs and motifs of the number 13, believed to be a powerful symbol against evil spirits, are incorporated into the house's design. It's said that Sarah held nightly seances to communicate with the spirits and receive guidance on the house's construction. Though the Winchester Mystery House is indeed a testament to Sarah's unique beliefs and architectural vision, the question of whether it succeeded in appeasing the spirits remains unanswered. Some visitors claim to have encountered ghostly apparitions within its labyrinthine halls. Today, the Winchester Mystery House stands as a popular tourist attraction and a testament to one woman's unusual quest to escape her ghosts. The mansion's secrets remain enigmatic, and the legend of Sarah Winchester continues to intrigue and captivate those who dare to explore its peculiar and mysterious confines. If you like these stories and would like to hear more ghoulish tales, don't forget to click the like and subscribe buttons.